Little Book Infinite, number 2. It's not a big book, it's a little one. This is the new Little Book Infinite 2. Last year, Jim Beam announced the first line extension to the Little Book series called Little Book The Infinite Edition 1. Now, the idea for the Infinite came when Freddie Noe was experimenting with blending varying age whiskeys when he sought to blend barrels his father, Fred Noe, and grandfather, Booker Noe, laid down, resulting in a perfectly balanced profile utilizing the word infinite. On top of that, each year a new whiskey will be added to the base blend from Infinite 1, which will give us an ever-evolving flavor profile over the years. Well, I wasn't a huge fan of the Infinite 1, thought it was a little bit drying, a little bit too oaky. Will this one be better? Find out. It's the Mash and Drum. What's up, folks? I'm Jason C for the Mash and Drum, and welcome back to the show. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and keep all the great comments and feedback coming. Appreciate all the support. So as I mentioned, this line extension launched in 2024 with the intent of bringing multiple generations together to create a whiskey that grows richer each year as new liquids are added to the original blend. So before we dive into number 2, this was what was in number 1. You had a 20-year bourbon that was laid down by Booker Noe. You had a 14-year bourbon that was laid down by Fred Noe. You had a 7-year bourbon that was laid down by Freddie Noe, and you had a family shared component that was 8 years old. Now, Little Book 2 includes a 22-year component that was laid down by Booker Noe, a 10-year that was laid down by Fred, a 7-year that was laid down by Freddie, apparently with extended fermentation, and that is all on top of the previous Little Book 1 blend. So as I stated, you have the blend, and then they're gonna add some components to it and keep building on it with each and every release. This is bottled at 120.8 proof with an SRP of $200. All right, let's get a pour. All right, let's dive into this one. Here we go. Now, as I mentioned, I did not like the first one very much. I thought it was extremely drying, very oak forward. And while I don't mind oak, I just felt like it didn't give me the balance I wanted. It was just completely sucking the moisture out of my palate. So, see what this one brings. See, I love the nose here. While it's oaky, I'm getting some really nice oak char, which I really dig, especially Beam oak char, because it has like that peanut buttery, that nuttiness to it that I really enjoy. It's honey. Lots of vanilla. Probably making an argument for like a bitter chocolate, almost like a cocoa powder, like a bitter chocolate. Maybe a slight hint of fruit there. I'm always looking for dark fruit in Beam. But from what I remember from Little Book 1, which I don't have anymore because I think I gave that bottle to someone, I just didn't enjoy it. I think this one, just off of memory, I'm really enjoying the nose more and more. So let's give it a try. That's good. This is like a cross between Booker's, Baker's, and like a Knob Creek 120 proof pick. Somehow they all combine to make this. Now I know there's some different liquids in here, obviously, that combine to make all this, but just trying to guide you towards to a profile that I feel like is familiar. I feel like it has the power that Booker's has, obviously with some more age, a little bit more oak and that char, a little bit more elevated sweetness too. But then I think it's got like the subtleness of a Baker's bourbon where it's not so in your face, but there's some sweet fruit character there. And then I think it's got also this Knob Creek profile to it where it gives you everything you want about Beam, but it more elevated. I know you could say that about Booker's as well, but I think Booker's follows a more linear type of flavor profile versus Knob Creek 120 being single barrels where they could be a little bit all over the map. And I think it's kind of a nice mixture of all three of those. The more you sip this, it's really good. It's actually, there's like a really nice like burnt toffee note to it that's right on the back of the palate that I really enjoy. I think it's borderline cigar box-ish. I feel like there's a level of that there. It doesn't go too far into it, but I feel like it lets you know that there is some age in this whiskey, which I really enjoy as well. But the flavors are in balance. There's nothing drawing my palate out. It's not really giving me a lot of the same vibes I was getting from Infinite 1. Yeah, it's peanut buttery, honey, just a hint of dark fruit to let you know it's there. I wish there was more. That would probably be my only drawback to this bourbon. I do wish there was a little bit more, because it's just such a nice influence on the palate in the whole experience. And then on the back end, you get a lot of spice. The baking spice is there, the caramel, that oak char is just beautiful. It doesn't dry your palate out. It's just there to let you know that this thing is gonna have a little heat to it, a little fire, and I really do enjoy this. I know for Jim Beam fans, the benchmark is Knob Creek 12 year at 65 bucks, and that totally makes sense. I wouldn't actually compare this to Knob Creek 12 year. I'd probably compare it more to a Knob Creek 120 proof single barrel at cask strength. I think that's where this more lies, but I feel like this has a lot of great depth. This is really good. It's getting more vanilla heavy, vanilla cherry, like Cherry Garcia ice cream with oak bits in it, oak char. I like this a lot. I dig this, this bottle. Was very surprised coming off the Infinite One, how much I didn't enjoy that and how much I'm enjoying this. Overall, this might be one of my more favorite releases this year from Beam. Beam is releasing a lot of shit all the time. This one is no exception, but I think my official verdict of this one is different than most. So final breakdown time. All right, final breakdown on the Little Book, the Infinite 2. Price for this one, $199, so say 200 bucks. Resale market, when these first drop, they're normally around 250-ish. Don't really see these much higher than retail, so I'll say 250 for resale. And availability on this is generally limited, but it's Jim Beam. Even though it says it's limited, good chance you might be able to find one. Value here. I still say the value here is below average, only because, and you know, I say it all the time, I think Jim Beam is just a victim of their own success and a lot of the great stuff they have on the shelf. I say it all the time. For them to put out special releases, it's got to be better than most of your stuff on the shelf. And not always does it do that. So for this one, I feel like it is better than most stuff on the shelf. However, I still feel like there's one bottle that could probably go against this. Most I pay here is going to be retail. I think if you can get this for $200, I think that's what you should pay. And if you can get it even cheaper, wait on it, maybe it goes on sale. Like I said, you know, given the market, I think you could get this for even a cheaper price, but the most I pay here is going to be retail overall. Alternatives, the number one, well, there are two alternatives for this one, and they're both from Jim Beam. Knob Creek 120 proof shelfer, the 9-year, or you can get yourself a Knob Creek cask strength store pick. Those are also 9 years. I think some are 10 years now. Those are hitting the market, getting around to stores and groups, whatever it may be. But I think some of those can go up against this as well. Is this a much better blend than Infinity One? I think it is. But overall, this is a really, really nice blend from Beam. But when it comes to those Knob Creek 120, 9, 10-year store picks, or just the shelfers, I think that's the one bottle that can go right up against this for only about 60, 65 bucks. And lastly, is this a skip, a try before you buy, a buy, or buy and back it up? I say if you are a Beam fan, if you love Jim Beam and you've kind of been, you know, maybe avoiding some of the other big releases that are out there like the Hardin's Creeks, which I don't think were worth $150, I'd much rather skip every Hardin's Creek this year, all three of them, which together for retail would be about $500 if you buy all three, and just get this at $200. I think this is one of the better releases that they have done this year. I really like this. I think it's a much better release than the Infinite One. Like I said, I think it's just a better balanced whiskey. The blend works here, and I think it'll be really interesting to see how this goes forward moving on. I mean, honestly, when you're talking about the marketing for this bottle, they want you to be able to buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and as long as it goes on, because this blend is going to continually evolve. And, you know, to some people, that's really the selling point. But if you didn't like one, I think two's a lot better. So for big Beam fans, I would say this is a buy. For the rest of you out there that are a little bit hesitant about Jim Beam, this is probably going to be more of a try before you buy. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this review for the new Little Book Infinite Edition number 2. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that subscribe button below. Please hit the like button, and if you haven't yet, follow me on Instagram. Let me know if you found this one yet, what you think about it. What did you think about Infinite One? Were you a big fan? Because I wasn't, so I always like to hear from you guys. And as I always say, it's not about the whiskey, it's the people you share with. Cheers. I'll see you next time right here on The Mash and Drum. Cheers, folks.